Okay, so good morning. Welcome to your Saturday morning yoga. So for today's session, you'll need a strap and a couple of bricks. If you don't have a strap, you can use the tie of a bathrobe or a resistance band is fine as well. If you don't have any bricks, you can use a hardback book that's of a similar size. I usually have one here, so something of a similar size. Hardback's better than softback. Have a pair of cushions and a blanket nearby just in case, because we'll be on the knees for some of the postures. So we're going to actually begin by coming onto our backs. So just take a moment to settle the body down onto your mat. Have the back of the body spreading out. Have the soles of the feet on the floor. And just take a moment here. Maybe place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, closing down the eyes. Start to connect with your breath. Start by noticing the breath. I'm not going to change it at this point. Just notice how the breath is today, this morning. As you breathe in, feel the rib cage expanding, maybe the belly rising. As you exhale, rib cage slowly drawing back towards the earth, and belly softens. Inhaling and exhaling, just noticing this natural rhythm of the breath. Notice where you feel the breath. Maybe it's in the nasal passages. Maybe it's in the back of the throat. Maybe it's towards the chest, the top of the chest, or the back of the chest. Or perhaps you can feel the breath all the way down into the belly. As you take your next in-breath, see if you can notice the breath traveling through the body, through the nose, back of the throat, the chest and belly. And as you exhale, taking that the opposite way, belly, chest, throat, nose. And keep deepening your breath. So let's lengthen the breath a little bit further. Inhaling. Exhaling. Remember, at any point if the breath feels strange, just come back to the natural breath. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out through the nose. Relax the jaw. Relax the eyebrows. Relax the shoulders. Allow this natural breath to lengthen with ease. And remember that the breath is always here. The breath is a key part of your yoga practice. You can always return to this position and this breath if you start to lose sight, if you just need to take a pause. Inhaling and exhaling. Replacing the hands down by the sides of the body. We're just going to take a moment here, really ground into the feet. Maybe just keeping the feet mat distance apart. We're going to take the knees over to the left side. So we're having a wide side leg here. You might take the arms just slightly wider apart. The knees don't have to come down to the ground. We're just gently opening out the spine here in a slight twist. As you exhale, bring the knees gently back to center and then take them over to the opposite side. Just being mindful of the body, shoulder blades are grounding into the ground. And then back to center. We'll take that one more time on each side. So the knees aren't stacked in this position, they're wide. This allows more space in the lower back. Only go as far as feels comfortable. Remember, you know your body best. Back to center and then over to the right. Remember the breath. Keep breathing here. Exhaling, coming back to center. We're going to keep the right foot grounded into the mat, and then we're going to take the left knee in towards us. Just squeeze the left knee in towards you. Really hug that in. And then we're going to take the left ankle and cross it over the right leg. So coming to this figure 4 position on the ground. Have that left knee so it's tracking as far away as you possibly can from the body. But remember, no tension. If you feel anything, just bring it in, ease it off slightly. Flex the left foot. And just notice how this feels. If this is enough for you today, staying here is absolutely fine. Otherwise, we're interlacing the fingers around the back of the leg. Draw the right leg in towards you. Just relax the right foot to begin with. Keep the left foot active. Inhaling. Use the breath to breathe into the legs. Exhaling. Option to raise that right leg so that the shin is parallel with the ground and the right foot is also flexed, matching the left. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Breath is key. Inhalation. Exhale. Slowly release the hands. Bring the right foot down, keeping the legs as they are. Take the arms out wide to a T position, or you can cactus the arms. And then we're just going to shuffle the hips slightly over to the left side. And then we're going to allow the legs to fall to the right. So that left foot's coming towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch the ground. Keep both shoulder blades grounding in. So that if you feel that left shoulder blade starting to lift, then perhaps bring the legs back slightly. Option to also place a cushion under the legs if you need to support them. Breathing here. Notice where the body's attention is drawn. Where is the mind wandering to? Can you bring it back to the breath? Come back to center. Shuffle the hips to the center of the mat and release the left leg down. Just give both knees a little hug. We're gently going to rock the body from side to side, just massaging the lower spine here. And then releasing the left foot down, keep the right knee in. We'll do that on the opposite side now. So really give that right leg a squeeze in as we ground through the left foot. And then take the right ankle, cross it over the left knee. Again, the right knee is tracking away from the body as far as is comfortable. Keep the right foot flexed. Inhaling. Exhaling. Find your breath. Remember, staying here is fine. Otherwise, bring the hands through the leg. Interlace the fingers around the back of the left thigh. Again, just allow the left leg to be soft to begin with. Find that breath. With each movement, use the breath to guide you. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhalation. Option to keep that shin parallel with the floor, flexing the left foot. Keep that right knee tracking away from the body. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Notice where you can feel the lengthening happening in the body. One more inhalation. Try to release, try to ease the body. Try not to hold on anywhere, apart from the hands. As you exhale now, we'll release the hands. Bring that left foot down to the ground. Again, find your preferred position with the arms, either in a T or a U. And then we're going to take the legs over to the left. You might want to shuffle the hips over to the right first, and then take the legs over. That just creates a bit more space in the lower back. You might even take the gaze in the opposite direction. Breathing here. Breathe through the body. The body breathes you. Through our breath, we can begin to find this sense of stillness, sense of comfort that is in our very center of our being. It's always there, just waiting to be tapped into. We just need to learn how to listen to it. And the breath helps us listen. So begin by listening to your breath. Slowly start to bring the legs back to center. Bring the hips back to the middle, releasing the legs down. Bring both knees in towards you. And just, again, gently rocking from side to side. And release both legs down. You're going to need your strap for the next part. So just have your strap nearby. Coming back onto the back. We'll start with the right side this time. No, we'll keep the right leg grounded in and bring the left knee in. I'm going to take the strap and take it round the foot. We want it on the ball of the foot here. So avoid it in the arch or round the heel or round the toes. We want it just on the ball of the foot here. So take the strap round the ball of the foot. Keep the knee bent to begin with. Inhaling. As you exhale, you might begin to straighten the leg as far as feels comfortable. You might still have a bend in the knee. That's absolutely fine. Go as far as is comfortable. You certainly don't want to go to war with the hamstrings today. With each breath, you might exhale, maybe straighten a bit. Inhale, maybe bend the knee. Exhaling, straightening. Breathing here. Inhaling. If you want to deepen the stretch, you might straighten the right leg. That can be quite a lot for the lower back, so notice if that's okay. Or you might just stay here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Now let's take the strap over into the left hand. So both straps come into the left hand. Take the right hand out to the side. Have the palm face down. I'm just going to shuffle over to the right because I don't have as much room on that side. And we're going to slowly start to take the leg out to the side. Now, notice what's happening in your right hip as you do this. If that hip starts to come up, bring the leg back. So you want to keep the hip down. You might even place your hand on the hip just to help keep it steady. Only take it as far as feels comfortable. If it starts to feel too much, you can always bend the knee, or you can always bring the leg back. Use the breath to guide you. Inhaling. Exhaling. I conveniently have a wall here, so I can rest my leg on the wall. This is also another way that you can do this posture, which is quite nice, just doing it with the leg resting on the wall for support. Inhalation. Exhale, breathing here. Inhaling. As you exhale, slowly start to bring that leg back to center. Release the belt. I'm just going to shuffle back over, you don't have to move. And then we're taking the strap into the opposite hand. So now it's in the right hand. So you have left leg in the strap, right hand on the strap. Take your left arm and place it out to the side, or maybe it's in a cactus. And I want you to become aware of that shoulder blade now, the left shoulder blade. That left shoulder blade needs to stay stuck to the ground, grounding down as we come over to the right side with the foot. So we're crossing the body now. Again, notice if you need to bend the knee. Inhaling. It doesn't have to come all the way over. It might just come somewhere in the air to your right side. But the important thing is that that left shoulder blade stays grounded. The left hip can lift and start to come on top of the right. That's fine. Inhaling here. Again, you might bend the leg towards you and then straighten it if you need to release. Inhaling. As you exhale, slowly start to bring that leg back to center. Take hold of the strap, one in each hand. Notice if you can just slightly draw that leg towards the head. You might bend the knee here if you need to. And we're not pulling harshly on the leg. We're listening to the leg. If it's telling us it's in pain, we listen, we ease out. Exhale, and then bend the knee towards you, releasing the strap from the foot. Just hug that knee in towards you. And then releasing the left foot down. Bring the right foot in line with the left. And then bring the right knee in towards you. I'm going to do that all on the opposite side. So take the strap round the ball of the right foot. Straighten that leg or keep a bend in the leg. Notice where you are. Notice one side might feel different to the other. Everybody is different. It's about listening to and respecting your body. Inhaling here. Exhale, you might start to lengthen the leg away. Inhaling, you might bend it again. Exhaling, you might keep the left foot grounded or you might lengthen away the left leg. Remember that if the leg is straight, this can be quite a deeper stretch on the lower back. Notice how that feels for you. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then taking the strap into the right hand this time. Take your left hand, maybe placing it on the left hip or out to the side. And then we're going to slowly start to lower the right leg out to the right hand side. Again, notice if you need to bend the knee to do this. I always find this side is a little bit more flexible than my other side. Once you're out and the leg is out to the side, you might consider bending it in towards the hip and then taking it out again, just to ease out of that stretch if it feels too much. Notice that left hip, has it started to lift? If it has, take the knee back towards the hip. Inhaling. Exhaling. It's all about finding what works for you and not pushing yourself into anything the body's not ready for. Exhaling. And slowly start to bring that leg back to center. Releasing the strap. Take the strap into the opposite hand this time. Take your right hand out to the side. Really connect the mind with that right shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade really grounding into the earth here. Keep that right shoulder blade grounded as we take the foot over to the left side. The right hip can lift, but the right shoulder blade stays grounded. I can only go this far. But again, this is a nice option if you were to do this in your own time. You can find a wall and place the foot on the wall. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Inhalation. Exhale. Remember, the breath is key. Inhaling here. As you exhale, slowly start to take that leg back to center. Take hold of one strap in each hand and then see if you can bring that leg a little bit closer towards the head. Not too far. Maybe easing out. Seeing if you can come a little bit closer. Easing out. Maybe one more time. And then releasing the belt, releasing the knee. Just taking the belt and removing it to one side for now. Hug both legs in towards you. We'll be gently rocking from side to side. And then you have a couple of choices now. You can take the hands behind the knees and you can start to rock and roll off the spine, coming up. Or you might just take the knees in to one side and then roll yourself up to a seated position. And we're just going to come into a nice seated position when you're ready. Here is where you may wish to have a couple of cushions to sit on, so you can elevate the hips, and that just creates more space in the hips. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll bring the hands to heart center. And after our next in-breath, we'll chant Om together. Your choice whether to simply listen or join in. Inhalation. Notice the vibration, feel the energy, the prana, the life force as it flows through the body. Taking a gentle bow of Namaste. Blinking the eyes open if you have them closed. And then take the hands and place them onto the knees. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to come into a seated cat-cow. So from here, having the hands on the knees, sitting the spine up nice and tall, taking an inhalation, we're going to start to lift the chest up. So the chest comes up. Just be aware of dipping in the lower back here. You want to avoid that. Try and keep this part as flat as you can. And we're just looking up. So you might even place the hands on the lower back as you start to look up. We know the neck can travel further than the chest, so just take the gaze to where the ceiling meets the wall. Inhaling. As we exhale, bring the hands onto the knees, and we're going to round through the shoulders and bring the spine in the opposite way, coming into that angry cat. Inhaling, lifting the spine up, looking up towards the ceiling. Maybe the hands are on the lower back. As we exhale, hands come onto knees, we're rounding through the spine. Shoulders might start to come up towards the ears, belly comes into thighs, spine even. Inhaling, lifting up. Avoid overarching in the lower back. Exhaling, rounding. Really mobilizing the spine here. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, rounding. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, rounding. And then bringing the spine back to neutral. We're going to come forwards onto the hands and knees. Take the knees wide, just remove your cushions to one side. Big toes are going to touch, and we're just going to sit back for a wide-kneed child's pose. Keep the elbows lifted. Maybe the gaze looks between the hands. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. Allow there to be space in the lower back, in the spine, in the upper back, between the arms, the shoulders and ears. Notice the spaces in the body. Where can you create more space? slowly rising onto all fours. And now I want you to be mindful of where the hips are above the knees. So we're keeping the hips above the knees. We're taking the arms further forwards. And here you might want to use your bricks. I'll demonstrate with and without. So without, hands are on the mat, as far forwards as you can. And then we're dipping the lower back and we're coming into a sort of half downward dog or extended puppy. So we're keeping the knees grounded. Maybe the head comes to the mat. Inhaling. If you want to take the pose a bit further with the shoulders, you can bring the hands onto bricks. I have a very sticky mat, so my bricks aren't going anywhere. If you find your bricks are slipping, a little tip is just to take the edge of the mat and fold it over, so the bricks aren't going to go anywhere. So if you've got a slippy mat, I recommend doing that. So bring the hands onto the bricks, and you want to grip the fingers and the thumbs, so it's a bit like that, holding on, and then you're coming back into the same pose, but it's just a deeper stretch into the shoulders. So just be mindful if you have any shoulder issues here. You might find the head doesn't quite reach the ground, so you can always grab a pillow just to place under the head. We have a tendency when the shoulders come into play to start scrunching them up towards the neck. See if you can bring some space into the neck. Can you lengthen them down? All the while our hips are staying above our knees. You might even bring one side of the face down, lengthening through. Exhale, maybe take the opposite side of the face down. Breathing here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhalation. And as you exhale, slowly start to come up. You can keep the bricks under the hands if you wish. You can stay in your extended puppy, or you can tuck the toes, sit the sitting bones back towards the heels, lift yourself up and come into downward facing dog. You might keep the knees bent. The belly might be on the thighs or towards it. The weight's coming towards the back of the body here. Start to walk out the feet, pedaling the feet. Take 5 breaths here. Inhale and exhale, counting as 1. Inhaling. Exhaling. Or you might be ready for your stillness. Just notice if you can bring the pedaling in line with your breath. Inhaling. As we exhale, bring the gaze forwards between the hands, and we're going to walk the feet towards the hands. Keep the knees bent if you need to, belly stays on the thighs. If your bricks are nearby, you might grab hold of your bricks, have them on the highest setting, placing the hands onto the bricks. Forward fold, allow the head to hang heavy. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Have the feet hip distance apart. As we inhale, we're going to use the belly, engage the belly. We're going to start to uncurl the spine, keeping the hands on the bricks. So we're uncurling the spine, coming up halfway. Start to lengthen through the back of the legs. Belly comes in to protect the lower back. Inhaling here. Exhale, lowering back down. Come back into your Uttanasana, forward fold. If you've got the hands on the bricks, you might experiment with the balance in this posture. Maybe take the weight towards the heels and then take it into the toes. Just gently rocking backwards and forwards. Keep the hands planted on the bricks. Notice how that feels. Inhale, we're going to lift up again halfway. Really straighten out that back as if you're trying to lift through the crown of your head towards the wall in front. At the same time, pushing the hips back to the wall behind you. Inhaling. Exhale, lower. Remove the bricks to one side. And we're going to take the left leg and step the left leg back behind us. So the right foot is between the hands, left leg is behind. If you have any issues with the knee, just grab a cushion, place it under the knee, bringing the left knee down. So we're in our low lunge here. Inhaling. As you exhale, we're going to plant the left hand down next to the left foot. Again, you might place it on a brick. And then we're going to take the right hand, bring it onto the right hip. And we're going to start to turn the body towards the right leg. So we're coming into a revolved side angle here. Inhaling. Staying here is option 1. Option 2, tucking the back toes under, maybe lifting that knee. Keep the right knee over the right ankle. Inhaling here. Option 3 is raising the opposite hand up. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Really kick into that back leg, kick into the back knee, back heel even. As you exhale, bring the right hand to the right hip, lower the left knee down. Now bring the right hand onto the floor or the brick. We're going to turn the body the opposite way. So keep the left hand on the left hip as we turn to face the opposite way. You might even, if I turn to face the opposite way so you can see, you might even have your elbow kicking into the side of the right leg just to support you. So we're turning out to the side here. Inhaling. Again, you might kick into the back leg, lifting up onto that knee if that feels okay. Option to lift the left hand. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Inhalation. As you exhale, lower the left hand onto the left hip, lower the left knee down. Gaze comes down towards the mat. Remove the brick, and we're now going to take both hands onto the inside of that right foot. So we're coming into our lizard pose. You might want to deepen the stretch by lengthening the left knee a bit further away. So maybe just walking that leg out. Looking up, maybe look in front. Staying on the hands is one option. If you have the bricks handy, you can bring the bricks onto their highest setting and you can come onto the forearms. Try not to nearly fall over like I just did. So you might look forwards like this. You might bring the bricks a little bit lower. Just playing around with what works. Find your edge where it doesn't start to disturb the mind. Inhaling, keep that belly in towards the spine. Exhaling. Inhalation. As we exhale, slowly come back up onto the hands if you're not already there. And then we're going to take the right leg back behind us, widening the knees, coming into our child's pose. Take 3 breaths here. Releasing the head to the ground. Taking a pause, noticing where we need to pause, where we need to find space again. And then when you're ready, coming back to all fours, this time we're going to step the left leg in front of us. So the left leg is forward and the right leg is back. Again, notice if you want a cushion under that knee. And if you want a brick under the right hand. And we're going to bring the left hand to the left hip, turn towards the knee that's in front, coming into our revolved side angle here. Staying here or tucking the toes of the back foot, lifting the back leg up. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Option to bring that left arm up. Turning that chest towards the left. Inhalation. Exhale, bring the left hand to left hip. Lower the right knee down. Turning towards the ground. We're going to bring the left hand onto the left brick on the inside of that left leg. Right hand to right hip. And then we're turning in the opposite direction, turning away. Staying here or kicking into the back foot, lifting up. Staying here or lifting the upper arm. Breathing here. Keep coming back to the breath. That will help with the balance. Steady the mind. Inhaling. Exhale, bring the right hand towards the right hip. Lower the right knee down. Lower the hands to the inside of that left foot. Again, taking a moment to set up here. You might be on the hands. You might be on the bricks, on the forearms. Inhaling. You might walk the right knee back a little bit more, coming into the pose a little bit deeper. You might readjust the position of the bricks or come off them entirely. Keep an openness in the shoulders. Breathing here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhalation. As we exhale, slowly coming back up. Bring both knees together. And we're actually going to come to seated now. So just removing your props and blankets and cushions to one side. Coming to seated. Keep a bend in the knees here. Take your cushion maybe or a blanket, roll it up. Or if you have a bolster, you can place that under the knees. So we've got this slight bend in the knees. Keep the feet flexed. And you're going to need your strap as well. So take your strap and place it around the balls of both feet. So we're coming into a modified Paschimottanasana, forward fold. So let's begin by sitting up nice and tall. Notice how my elbows are in towards the sides of my body. I'm not really using my arms in this posture. They're merely just keeping the feet and arms in position. Everything is coming from my belly, from my spine. So I'm going to inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And as I exhale, I'm going to start to fold forwards. I might not even come very far. I might just pause here. Maybe easing out slightly. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, folding a little bit further. Notice how my arms are still in the sides of my body, the shoulders are down. Inhale, lifting. Imagine you're lengthening out through the top of the head as you come forwards. So it's not all in the spine. We're keeping the spine nice and tall. Belly comes to thighs. Pausing here if that feels okay, or continuing with the flow. You might start to walk the hands down the strap a little bit more, but notice my elbows are still in. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhalation. As you exhale, slowly start to come back up. Release the strap. Place it to one side. And remove the pillow or cushion or bolster. And we're going to just have the legs out in front of us now in a slight wide bend. Take the left foot and we're going to cross it over the right ankle. So just notice if you need to adjust the position of the legs. Taking that right leg further away eases the posture. Bringing it closer into the body deepens the posture. Hands come behind, fingers to point behind. Just notice, like me, if you're hypermobile, try not to lock the elbows out like that. Try to keep a soft bend in them. Inhaling. Sitting up nice and tall. Opening the chest up towards that point where the wall and ceiling meet. Exhaling. Inhalation. Keep the left foot flexed. Exhale, release the right leg straight in front of you. Keep the left leg over the right thigh. You might place both hands on the thigh. You might take a cushion, maybe just placing it under that lifted knee for support. Staying here, or option to bring the hands a bit forwards, coming into a forward fold. You won't be able to get as close to the ground because of the leg. So straight on position. Leg is like this. Inhaling. Exhaling. Coming back up, releasing the legs. Come back into that kind of wide-legged position here. And this time we're going to take the right leg, cross the right leg over the right ankle. Right ankle over left knee. Take the hands behind you. Again, lifting the chest up towards that point on the ceiling, flexing the right foot. You might take that foot in a bit closer for a deeper stretch. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Inhalation. As you exhale, start to straighten the left leg out in front. Right leg comes down. If this feels too much, you can always just place a cushion or something underneath that left knee. Sitting up nice and tall here. Inhaling. Exhaling, you might walk the hands forwards. Keep the left toes flexed, right foot flexed. Breathing here. Inhaling. As you exhale, slowly take the hands back up, coming back up. Release the legs in front of you. Just notice if there's any more movements you wish to come into. Perhaps lying down, maybe bringing the knees in or coming into a happy baby. And we're preparing for our Shavasana. So you might want to put on warm layers, socks, blankets over the body. Notice what you need to do to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Coming into your Shavasana now, if you're not already there. Will just be a few minutes in this position, so making sure that you are comfortable. Taking a moment to settle the body into the mat. Perhaps you've got a bolster under the knees. Notice the length of the body as it settles in. Notice any sensory impressions, sounds you can hear, smells, tastes, or touch. Notice the clothes in contact with parts of the body. Notice the parts of the body in contact with the mat. Know that you are grounded and supported. And allow yourself to be in this moment as you are, as you need to be, in this body and in this self. Starting to become aware of this body once again. Notice that you are present and alert. Beginning to notice any sounds you can hear outside the room. Beginning to notice any sounds you may hear inside the room. Notice the sounds closest to you, such as the sound of my voice, or the soft rise and fall of the breath. And be aware of this body on the mat. Visualize this body on the mat, in this space. Visualize the room, the ceiling, the walls, windows and doors. Connect with the time of the day and the day of the week. Practice of Shavasana is complete. Start to draw your awareness to the breath, deepening your next inhalation. Opening the mouth, sighing on the exhalation. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Starting to bring movement to the body, wiggling the fingers and toes, rotating the wrists and ankles, stretching the body in any way that you need to, maybe taking the arms overhead, letting out a yawn. Hugging the knees in towards you, rolling over onto one side, and coming up to seated with the eyes still closed. Ready to close our practice together. And bring the hands together at heart center. And we'll close the practice as we began with one arm together. Your choice whether to listen or engage. Or inhale before we begin. Inhalation. And bow the head to the hands. Start to blink the eyes open. And then lifting the head. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste.